Hello everyone. 안녕하세요. Welcome back. Today we're gonna take a look at lesson 2, introducing family. In America too, you guys love to invite people to your house when you have a family events like your father's birthday or Thanksgiving. You know, in Korea too, we love to invite our new friends to our family. So we love to have them see my family. So introducing family is really basic but important. You have to understand who is who and you have to know how to introduce your family to Korean people. Okay, so let's see what expressions we're going to learn today. Introducing family, the first expression is family structure. Before we move on to the real conversation, you have to know how we call our family in Korean. Like father and mother, grandmother, grandfather, your sibling, right? So we're going to take a look at family structure first. Then I have. So my question might be, do you have sibling? And you can say, I have one sister and two brothers, like that. So you need to know how to say I have. I think you already know this. And number 3, they live in. So we usually ask this question, oh, do you have an older sister? So where she lives? Right? So they live in. You have to answer the question by using this expression. They live in Chicago, New York, Kansas, or Florida. And the last expression is what your family do for a living. I know it's not really polite to ask their job in America, but in Korea, it's a really common question. We really ask people, okay, what's your job? What do you do for a living? What your father does for a living? So you have to understand this question. It's a Korean culture. So even though you don't want to tell them your father's job and your sister's job, if you're asked this question, you have to answer them. That's Korean culture, okay? So the reason I make this vacant is you can put any person, your sister, brother, your father, okay? So what your family do for a living, okay? So let's see first expression, family structure. Family structure. First of all, you have to know how you say family in Korean. Family. What's family? 가족. 가족. One more time. Family means 가족. 가족. Okay? 가족. And you might have grandmother, grandfather, and everyone has mother and father, right? So grandmother means 할머니, 할머니, 할머니. And grandfather, 할아버지, 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 할아버지. If we pronounce each part in Korean, it's gonna be 할아버지. But usually, if we speak this fast, this bottom part goes up to next. So we just say 할아버지, 할아버지. Okay? So grandmother, 할머니, grandfather, 할아버지. Then mother, 어머니, mother, 어머니, father, 아버지, 아버지, 아버지. Okay, so let's see. What's grandmother in Korean? 할머니, 할머니. What's grandfather? 할아버지, 할아버지. Mother, 어머니, 어머니, and father, 아버지, 아버지. You know what? This part is that you have to memorize. Why? Because there's no way to just get used to this expression. You have to just memorize. Okay? So just to memorize this part. And next, sibling. 형제 or 자매. 형제 means you're a man and you have brother. That means 형제, and you're a girl and you're a woman, you have your sisters. 자매. So brothers, 형제, or sisters, 자매. But we usually call this 형제. So usually we don't just divide these two different. We just call sibling usually 형제. Okay? Sibling, 형제 or 자매. 형제 or 자매. And this is really tricky because you just call your sister just sister, even though you're a man and you're a woman. However, in Korean, depending on our sexuality, we just these brother and sisters are called differently. Okay, so here, woman. In my case, it's me, woman. If I have older brother, I call him 오빠. Okay, so brother, old brother, I call him 오빠. I'm woman, right? 오빠. And I have younger brother. So younger brother in Korean, I call him 남동생. 남동생. 동생 means a younger. So 남 is brother. So 남동생. Okay? So I am woman. And if you are woman, I don't know you, but if you're a woman, I can see you anyway. So your older brother is 오빠. 오빠. And your younger brother is 남동생. 남동생. And if you have older sister, and I don't have older sister, but if I would have my older sister, I call her 언니. 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 And younger sister is 여동생. 여동생. So 동생 means younger. Remember this, okay? And sister, 여. It's a woman. 여동생. And younger brother, it's a man, 남, and younger, 남동생. 남동생. Okay? So I'm a woman. I have older brother. How can I call him? That's right. 오빠. 오빠. And I have a younger brother. I call him 남동생. 남동생. And if I have older sister, I call her 언니. 언니. And if I have an younger sister, I call her 여동생. 여동생. Okay? Make sense? And let's see the next one. And if you're a man, you can call your older brother 형. 형. Simple, isn't it? 형. 형. And 남동생, younger brother is the same. 남동생. 남동생. Okay? 남동생. And if you have older sister, call her 누나. 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 And younger sister is the same. 여동생. 여동생. Okay? So you are a man and you have older brother, you can call him 형. Younger brother, you can call him 남동생. And if you have older sister, call her 누나. If you have a younger sister, call her 여동생. So younger brother, younger sister are same. 남동생, 여동생 with the women's. However, your older brother, old sister are different. So remember this. When I was a child, our neighborhood, I don't know, I can't remember his name. He has like 4 old sisters. He was the youngest one. And all his older sisters call each other 언니, right? Because they're women. But he didn't know how to call them because they always call each other 언니. So he just called his old sister 언니, even though he has to call them 누나. So we were mocking him like, oh, no, you can't call them 언니. You have to call them 누나. But he couldn't understand why he had to call them 누나. But this is the way we use. So don't be confused. Like, for instance, you just come to Korea and you want to introduce your family and and you're a man, I have one older sister and are you going to say 언니? Of course not. You have to call them 누나. Call your old sister 누나. Okay? So, this sibling part is a little hard and very confusing, but you have to memorize, and the best way to memorize this expression is you are just a man from your side. Memorize this expression from your side. Okay? So if you're a man, just memorize this part, and if you're a woman, just memorize this part. Okay? Good. And we just finished family structure, and we're going to look at the next one. Now, I have one older sister and one younger brother, that kind of thing. So, remember this expression? You learned this at the supermarket, right? 있어요. And do you have sibling? What's sibling? 형제. Remember? 형제, do you have? 있어요. So, do you have sibling? 형제 있어요? Or 자매 있어요? Okay? 형제, what's 형제? Brothers, and 자매, sisters, but we usually just call sibling 형제. Okay? And I have means 있어요. This is a question, so increase your intonation at the end of the sentence. 있어요. However, when you answer the question, I have 있어요. Make sense? Okay. And I have one younger sister. I have one younger brother. It's a counting numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? My first sister, second sister, older sister, and younger sister. It's counting. So, 한 명. 명 means a person. So, 한 명. One person, which means one older sister, one older brother, and 두 명 means two older sister and two younger brothers. So, 명, person. 한시, 두시, 세시. Or 한 달, 두 달, 세 달. Remember that? So, 한 명, one, 두 명, two. One person, two people. Make sense? 한 명, 두 명. It's counting numbers. Okay, so this is a question. Do you have sibling? 형제 있어요? And B, yes. I have a younger brother. What's yes, by the way? 네. And younger brother, 남동생. Is one younger brother, right? 남동생 한 명 I have 있어요. 남동생 한 명 있어요. Okay? Younger brother comes first and 한 명 I have 있어요. Make sense? So, one more time. Do you have sibling? 형제 있어요? Yes, I have a younger brother. 네. 남동생 한 명 있어요. Okay? Good. See the next one. Conversation. Do you have sibling? Yes, I have a younger brother. And ask the same question. Do you have sibling? Yes, I have two old sisters. Okay, let's see how we speak this expression in Korean. Do you have sibling? How can you say in Korean? That's good. 형제 있어요? sibling, 형제 있어요? And this is for instance, yes, I have a younger brother. Yes, 네, I have a younger brother. 남동생 한 명 있어요. 네, 남동생 한 명 있어요. And ask the same question. Do you have sibling? 형제 있어요? 형제 있어요? See? 형제 있어요? And A says, what was that? Yes, I have two old sisters. I have two old sisters. 네, old sisters. 언니, which means this A is a woman, right? Not a man, it's a woman. So 네, 언니 두 명 I have 있어요. Okay, one more time. Do you have sibling? 형제 있어요? Yes, I have a younger brother. 네, 남동생 한 명 있어요. Ask the same question. 형제 있어요? And A says she is a woman. So she has two old sisters. So she called her old sisters what? 언니, not 누나. 언니. Okay? So 네, 언니 두 명 있어요. Okay? Very good. And C. This is the different expression. Do you have sibling? 형제 있어요? And look at this. Yes, I have one old sister and one younger brother. Oh, do you remember and? Remember that? So when you order at the restaurant, right? Do you remember at the restaurant? I want to have 불고기 and 잡채. 불고기 and 하고 잡채. That's right. So and 하고. So I have one old sister and one younger brother. Old sister 언니 and 하고 one younger brother. 남동생 있어요. Oh, in English there is one, but why you don't say 한 명? Because you can say like 언니 한 명 하고 남동생 한 명 있어요. But when we use and the connection, we don't usually say how many sisters you have. Just to tell them 언니 하고 남동생 있어요. Okay? And if you just tell them this answer, they will ask you how many. But at that time, you can tell them, like if you have two older sisters, you can say 두 명. But when you want to use and expression here, you're not necessary to say 1, 2, 3. Just to say that, just tell them older sister 언니 and 하고 younger brother 남동생 있어요. Okay? So, yes, I have older sister and one younger brother. 네, 언니, old sister. So, she is a woman, right? 언니하고 younger brother, 남동생, I have 있어요. Okay. So, everything okay? Can you follow me? I know it's confusing, but we have to know. Okay? Good. Next expression. Then, where they live? I'm gonna ask, and they live in different cities, right? So, they, who's they anyway? They means your siblings, or your father and your parents. Okay? So, they, 그들은. They, 그들은. One more time. 그들은. And live in 에서 live 살아요 live in 에서 live 살아요 okay, they live in. So where they live, this is question. Oh, so you have older sisters, so where they live, where she lives, where he lives. They live. 그들은 where? You know, absolutely, right? 어디서 live, 살아요. 살아요. One more time. 그들은 어디서 살아요? One more time. 그들은 어디서 살아요? Where they live. 그들은 어디서 살아요? Okay? Good. Next conversation. So, this is the question. Where they live. 그들은 어디서 살아요? And they live in Chicago, my favorite city, Chicago. So, 그들은 in Chicago, Chicago, in에서, remember in에서 live, 살아요, 살아요. Okay? So, they live in Chicago. 그들은 시카고에서 살아요. What about New York? 그들은 뉴욕에서 살아요. Okay? So just change the city. Okay. They live in Chicago. 그들은 시카고에서 살아요. Alright? So, I combined two and third conversation. Let's see. Do you have sibling? What's that? 형제 있어요? 형제 있어요? And yes, I have a younger brother. And what's that? Yes. 네. 남동생, younger brother, 남동생, 한 명 있어요. 네, 남동생 한 명 있어요. Ask the same question. Do you have sibling? 형제 있어요? 형제 있어요? And yes, I have two old sisters. 네, two old sisters. 언니 두 명. Or if we are a man, 누나 두 명. Okay? So what's the answer here? 네, 언니. So A is the woman, right? 네, 언니 두 명 있어요. 언니 두 명 있어요. And where they live? Where they live? They. 그들은 where? 어디서? 어디? live. 살아요. 그들은 어디서 or 어디 살아요? Where they live. And they live in Chicago. Chicago. 그들은 그들은 in Chicago. 시카고에서 live. 살아요. 그들은 시카고에서 살아요. So far so good? Make sense? Okay, good. And the last expression. What your family do for a living. What your family do for a living. What? You learned about what, right? What's that? What? 무엇? And when it comes to time and numbers, what means? 몇. And this is the third expression. What? 무슨. Regarding events or doing something. So what? 무슨. Do for a living, which means what's your family job? What's your sister's job? Where she works, right? 일하다. Work. Do for a living. 일하다. So 무슨 일하다. So what your family do for a living? Sister, brother, and father and mother. 무슨 일 해요? It's different. And 일하다 is the original types of verb, and this is a respectful expression. You're gonna learn this from another Korean class, okay? So, what your sisters does for a living? What your sisters do for a living? And 누나는 무슨 일 해요? What? 무슨 do for a living? 일해요? Conversation. What your family do for a living? family는 what do for a living? Work. 일해요. So what kind of job your family has? What kind of job your sister has? So 무슨 일 해요? And my father is my sister is, my brother is, and my father is a professor, and my sister is a student or a salesman, that kind of thing. So my father, this is a little ridiculous, but my is your father, right? But in Korean, when you translate this, we say our father. Our father. I know we don't share our father with other people, but we usually call this our, which is 우리. 우리. Okay, so my is translated to 우리. 우리. So 우리, father, 아버지, my sister, 우리 누나, or 우리 언니. Okay? And my brother, 우리 형, 우리 오빠, 우리 남동생. Okay? So my father, 우리 아버지, my sister, 우리 누나, 우리 언니, 우리 여동생, my brother, 우리 형, 우리 오빠, 우리 남동생. Whew, this is a lot, right? So my father, my sister, and my brother. So what your family do for a living? 무슨 일 해요? Okay? Let's see the conversation. And my sister is a student. If just assume that this is your old sister. So 우리 누나는, when you're a man, your old sister is called 누나. 우리 누나는 a student. 학생이에요. 학생이에요. A student means 학생. And my brother is a salesman. 우리 남동생. I missed the 남 here. It's 남동생. Okay? 우리 남동생은 a salesman. It's borrowed word, so we call this salesman also. salesman이에요. 이에요. And my father is a professor. 우리 아버지는 a professor. 교수님이에요. 교수님, a professor. 교수님이에요. Okay? My sister is a student. 우리 누나는 학생이에요. My brother, 우리 남동생은, younger brother, 남동생은 salesman. salesman이에요. My father is a professor. 우리 아버지는 교수님이에요. Okay? Good. Okay, so this is the example. What your sister does for a living. And B is a woman. So I ask your sister, old sister, 언니는, this is old sister, okay? 언니는 what? 무슨 일 해요? So, 언니는 무슨 일 해요? And B says, my sister is a student. My sister, 우리 언니는 a student. 학생이에요. My sister is a student. 우리 언니는 학생이에요. Okay, make sense? Good. And finally, we just been through 4 long expressions in Korean. It's hard. I know it's because family has different roles, like father and mother, brother, sister, and depending on the sexuality, we call them differently. However, if you just memorize them and if you can understand them, you will never have any problem to speak Korean with all the expressions. And as usual, we're going to look at review. Okay? First one. 형제 있어요? Do you have sibling? 형제 있어요? B. Yes. 네. 언니하고. What's that? My old sister. 언니하고 younger brother. 남동생 있어요. And ask the same question. 형제 있어요? And A said, yes. 네. 언니 2명 있어요. 언니 2명. 언니 2명 있어요. And we can see that A and B are women. Right? 언니. Old sister. Right? And B. Where they live. 그들은 어디서 살아요? 그들은 어디서 살아요? A said, 그들은 live in Chicago. 시카고에서 살아요. 그들은 시카고에서 살아요. A, 언니하고 남동생은 무슨 일이에요? B said she has older sister and younger brother. So A asked, 언니하고 남동생은 your sister and your brother, what your sister and brother do for a living? 무슨 일 해요? Make sense? 하고, remember here, this part. And B says, 우리 언니는 say about your sister's job first, then younger brother. So divide here, okay? 우리, my sister, 언니는 a student, 학생이에요. My old sister is a student. 우리 언니는 학생이에요. And my younger brother is a salesman. 우리 남동생은 salesman이에요. 우리 남동생은 salesman이에요. Okay? Okay, good. Please practice speaking Korean very hard. And even though it's hard to remember, you have to try to memorize the family structure, then speak loudly, okay? And try to make all the expressions you learned today yours. And next time, I will come back with lesson 3 direction, okay? You did a really, really good job today and see you next time. 감사합니다.